This was supposed to be a fun video about me reading books based on my star sign, and now there's cannibalism. I think I'm gonna reread this over and over and over again. It's Around the World in 80 Days meets The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets talking to your grandpa who's a little problematic. Hello, welcome back. I was on YouTube, as one is, and I saw a video of somebody reading like a series of books recommended to them based on their sun sign, their astrology signs. And I thought that it would be fun to read books from my birth chart because mine is like a little bit too accurate, but I have a very unbalanced chart, so I'm basically all 4 signs. I'm all Aquarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Pisces. That's my whole chart. There's like a couple of random things in there, but that's pretty much all I am. And the 3 that show up the most are my sun sign Aquarius, my rising sign, which is Sagittarius, and my moon, which is Scorpio. Okay, so I found a video that did recommendations for every sign. So I'll put it here for you so you can see. It was a really well done video. The book recommended for Aquarius, which is my sun sign, which is Earthlings, which is by the author of Convenience Store Woman. It was recommended for Aquarius because it is very you're an alien and you don't fit in type situations. I'll read you a little synopsis. Natsuki isn't like the other girls. Together with her cousin Yu, she spends her summers in the wild Nagano Mountains, hoping a spaceship will take her home. When a terrible sequence of events threatens to part the cousins forever, they make a promise: survive no matter what. So, Aquarius. Next, we have my rising sign, which is Sagittarius, and for that one, we have recommended The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared. And that's pretty much the synopsis of the book. A 100-year-old man climbs out of a window hours before his 100th birthday celebration. The mayor is supposed to be there, and he just climbs out the window and goes, "I'm leaving." Which, honestly, same. I feel strongly that my personality will reach its peak when I'm an old man. I'm excited to dive into the mind of an old man. I don't read a lot of stories from the perspective of an old man, but that is my aesthetic. I am an old man. Great, moving on to the last one, which is Scorpio, which is my moon and Mars, along with some other things, I'm sure. And that recommendation is Split Tooth. I gotta say, I don't know a lot about this other than it's weird, haunting, and there are pictures. There's like some one line, I don't know if they're poems or if it's just the structure of the page, but I'm really, really excited to read this. Okay, anything that describes itself as the seductive energy of the animal world, I am in. That's very Scorpio. We've got alcohol, we've got violence, we've got spirits, we've got power, and we've got pregnancy. I mean, look at that cover. How could you not scream Scorpio? Okay, those are the books that I am reading. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read the first chapter of all of them, and then I'll see you back here when I'm done, and we'll pick the book that we're gonna start with. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, bye. We have moved outside into the yard because it's such a beautiful day. I have read, there's not really chapters, but I've read like the first 18 pages of Split Tooth, and it's amazing. Dark, and yeah, it really captures what it's like to be a child. It's exceptional. I'm really enjoying it so far. I just started Earthlings. So far, interesting. I think she's in a relationship with her cousin. I don't know about this. I haven't started this guy yet. So I'm gonna finish the first chapter of this, and then Sully and I will check back in later. Update time. So the first chapter of this book was 1 page long. One half a page. So I finished the first chapter of these 3 books, and I think I'm going to keep reading Earthlings. I'm intrigued, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading Earthlings, and I will check in when I either have something to say or when I finish it. Sully is having a nice time in the yard, eating what is hopefully not a piece of poop. Okay, I have to read you something. It's handy having a dumpster in the house. In this house, that's my role. When Mom and Dad and Kisa get so fed up they can't bear it any longer, they dump everything onto me. It's just stuck in there. I really like this book. It's really good. Okay, more Sully. This video is gonna be half Sully. I'm not mad about it. This little nugget is destroying my house. We're gonna go for a walk. Earthlings has gotten intense. Check the content warnings before you read. Can you pick in or out, baby? I love you. Have fun, be safe. Alright, so, I just finished Earthlings. Initial reaction, what did I just read? I'm very confused. I think I understand what she's trying to say. I don't know, maybe I'm just like too dumb to get it, but it was a lot, and I don't think I like it. I don't think I liked it. Here's why I'm conflicted. There are moments in this book that are very relatable. I think especially from a neurodivergent standpoint. She says, ever since I was little, I'd had the habit of imitating my friends' use of emoji and style when texting. Shizuka never used that many emojis, but she did favor stars and musical notes, so I used them in my answer to her too. I didn't mean anything much by it. I just thought that matching myself to others might help reduce the chances of causing offense if, for example, my words came across as too tense or gloomy or perhaps too curt and cold. That feels like masking to me, and it was so relatable. So there are things like that where I think it's exceptional. There are conversations about capitalism being like a factory, like society is a factory, and you're there to produce money, capitalism. You're also there to produce more workers, to have babies and reproduce. And that was really good. I enjoyed that part. And then some things happen. And I think what Sayaka Murata is trying to do here is ask where the line is. What societal rules do we want to throw out? And so I guess her decision was to throw out all of the societal rules and portray all of them as being nonsense. This is on me because I didn't read the content warnings before starting this, even though the video explicitly warned me to. I was not prepared for what happened. Please read the content warnings before you read this. I don't know how I feel about this. Is it gonna make me think a lot of things for a long time? Yes. I think I'm gonna go like read some stuff about it and see if I can find an interview with the author and see her thoughts about it. And I will, I'll see you tomorrow. God. It's weird. I think I'm gonna eat some ice cream and rewatch My Neighbor Totoro because I just need something calming right now. Okay, bye. I'm back. I have ice cream. I know I said I would be back tomorrow, but look, I can't stop thinking about this book. Let's talk about it. I'm not sure if it's a 1-star or a 5-star because obviously the purpose of this book is to get you to think, and it's doing a lot. I'm thinking a lot of things right now. Okay, usually I love absurdist horror. Sorry to bother you, incredible. Like horse people, yes, I'm in. But the tone of this feels too edgelordy for me. And I don't know if like that's a bad take, but Here's the situation. If you don't want to read about incest and cannibalism, don't read this book. Earthlings asks the question, in order to escape from society, what do we have to do? And the decision that the characters in this book make is that in order to escape from being a cog in the machine, from being in the factory, from contributing to society, which has these dark things going on like pedophilia and sexual assault and murder and forcing people to have children and those things that are happening in an acceptable society, in order to escape from those things, you need to do something that's so absurd that society rejects you completely. And the question is, what's so absurd that society rejects you completely? And the answer is incest and cannibalism and murder. Was it engrossing? Yes. Is my little Aquarius brain just off the deep end with thoughts? Yes. Will I be thinking about this for a long time? Yes. Did it do its job? Yes. Now that my brain is coming to terms with why the incest and cannibalism is there, I'm getting it. I understand why she chose cannibalism completely. I totally get it. That is the worst thing you can do is eat another human. I get it. To revisit the Aquarius recommendation. This was supposed to be a fun video about me reading books based on my star sign. And now there's cannibalism. It's not what I wanted. It's what I got. I can't not recommend this, but I can't recommend it. Is it a good Aquarius recommendation? It feels stupid to talk about astrology now. God. It's simultaneously saying, yes, society's awful, you should not do the things that are awful in society, get outside of society. But it's also saying that it's impossible to escape society unless you become a monster. So, because you gotta become non-human in order to break from society. So, don't be an edgelord. Is the message? I don't know. I'm gonna go watch My Neighbor Totoro and eat my ice cream. Okay, we're done. We're done with this. We're done. This video took a different direction than I was thinking it would. God help us. Okay, bye. Okay, hello. It's a little bit past 5. I just finished work and I'm gonna go outside and read with the dog because it is such a nice day outside. So I'm gonna take Split Tooth with me. I really wanna know what happens. I'm really loving the poetry that's in here. I'm already attached to the main character and I just wanna know what happens. So I'm gonna go outside and read Split Tooth with Mr. Sullivan. I'll see you later. Bye. It's much later now, and I have finished Split Tooth. I think this might be my new favorite book. It's exceptional. It's poetic and emotional and dark. I think I'm gonna reread this over and over and over again. It's so good. It's all of my favorite things. I feel like I'm not making any sense because I'm just so in awe of the talent here. It doesn't make I really hope that she writes more books. She does this thing that John Milton does in Paradise Lost. He makes up words. There are a lot of words that come out of Paradise Lost that Milton has created. And one of his favorite things to do, and one of my favorite things that he does, is he attaches un to words, like unborn. And she does this. I leave my body and hitch a ride with the wind. I am not a human now, I am only lament. The wind is the only song. This is why the Arctic wind screams. Ice in lung, ice in wind, life unsung. Milk death, split tooth, sorrow marrow, whispered truth. And the whole book is like this. It's exceptional. Here. The topography of pity. Look at other humans with pity. Why are they so downtrodden? What could possibly have happened to them? What could possibly have happened to you? They may see the consumer sickness. They may see the pride sickness. They may see the detachment sickness. Your belongings won't save you. Money won't save you, even if you save it. Money has spent us as we have spent it. We look upon the scarred earth with pity. What have we done to her? Isn't it she who has given her minerals and electricity to spit us out, give us life, only to suck us back in, just so she can breathe with the seasons, just so we can be her topsoil? Perhaps she looks upon us not with the love of a mother, but with the same indifference we lend to our lungs, with the same indifference that we give the homeless human. This book is set in Canada. I'm from Minnesota. I'm from much further south than this is set, but talking about snow, it's so obvious when someone writes about snow if they live in a place that has a lot of snow. She talks about the different types of snow. The snow that is, small and hard and it skitters across the ice, and the snow that soaks up the sound. It made me miss home. It made me miss Minnesota. And I'm not a big snow person, but if you've ever gone outside in a blizzard where it's those big flaky snowflakes that just suck up the sound, and you walk outside and it's such a soft silence, it's like it's giving you a hug. That's not a feeling that I've ever felt before. And this brought that memory back. I love this book. The video's taken a turn for the better. As far as a Scorpio recommendation, it's an excellent Scorpio recommendation. It is dark and emotional and powerful and lyrical and thought-provoking and everything that Scorpio is. Especially if you have a Scorpio moon, I think you'll really like this. 5 stars. I would give this 100 stars if I could. Let me know if you've read this book and your experiences of it. I highly recommend you to pick up this book. Please do check the content warnings before you do. That's all I have to say. It's perfect. I'm going to go to bed now, and I will start my last book tomorrow. This is just so good. Please read this book. It's exceptional. Please, let's talk about it in the comments. I really want to talk about this in the comments. I did read it all in one day. I kind of wished that I had not read it all in one day because I miss it. So don't be afraid to take your time with this one. Okay. Good night.
You hungry? You want breakfast? I should get up so you can eat breakfast. Okay. Let's go.
It's been a few days since I've seen you. I have finished The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared, and I'm very excited to tell you all about it because I liked it as well. This has been a very successful reading vlog. I'm very happy. This I read mostly in audiobook form, actually. I got the audiobook through my library, and I really like the narrator. The tone of this is very British humor, sarcastic, a little bit. I want to say the tone reminds me of Around the World in 80 Days. It's kind of a similar tone. It's problematic in similar ways. And it reminds me a lot of my grandpa, and it is problematic in the same ways that your grandfather may be. It's not perfect. We talk about a lot of different countries in the book, and sometimes people are not portrayed in the best way, so just be aware of that going in. But this reminded me a lot of my grandpa, actually. Alan, the 100-Year-Old Man, is quite a character in the same way that my grandpa is. And my family doesn't live in the US, my extended family. It's just my mom and dad, my brother and I, who live in the US. So we don't get to see or interact with our extended family very much. This made me feel like I was hanging out with my grandpa and he was telling me all of his, wild stories from life. Because we do get to see Alan's life throughout this, because we are flashing back between his current day after he climbs out of the window and the shenanigans that are going on with that, and also everything he got up to in the 100 years before that. And it's really, really funny if you know both US and world politics. I mean, we cover a lot in here. The Cold War is in here. We're talking about Mao in this. We've got Stalin. There's a lot of characters in here. We're talking about communism. We're talking about capitalism. And it's just really funny. I really, really liked this. This is a 4-star read for me. I can't give it 5 stars in good conscience because there are some problematic things. At some points in the book, I think it acknowledges the fact that it's problematic and makes fun of that. Makes fun of Alan. The narrator makes fun of Alan a little bit for his being like an old person who's ignorant, but also there's still problematic things. So, is it a good Sagittarius recommendation? Yes. Sagittarius, like the thing that everyone knows about them is that they're known for like wanderlust and traveling and wanting to get up and go places and do things. And that's what he does. That's what Alan does in this. It was really, really fun. I loved it a lot. It's like Around the World in 80 Days meets The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets talking to your grandpa who's a little problematic. That's the tone. It's really, really good. I just loved Alan's character. The way that the events fall into place is just so funny. I really loved the audiobook as well. I read probably the majority on audiobook and some in print form. I think for a book like this that has a very specific tone and it's poking fun at the characters and the situation, it's kind of like winking at you as a reader, and I think that the narrator did a really good job of capturing that tone. So that is everything that I read this week. So we started with Earthlings, had some excellent commentary on society, and I will be thinking about this for a long time. It is a 3-star for me. I am glad that I read it. I enjoyed the reading experience, so it has to be a 3-star. But it doesn't get any more than that because it just didn't work for me. That's the final rating on this. This was the Aquarius read. The Scorpio read, Split Tooth, is one of my favorite things I have read of all time. I just want to say, because, I don't know, I was so emotionally attached to this book that I didn't tell you what it's about when I talked to you after I read it. And this book deals with a lot of different topics. We're talking about humans interacting with nature and climate change. We're talking about our relationship with nature and animals. We're also talking about the residential schools in Canada. We're talking about sexual assault. We're talking about abuse. We're talking about violence. We're talking about alcoholism. We're talking a lot about family and motherhood and evil and morality and power. I'm already on the wait list for the audiobook because it is narrated by the author herself, and I really want to experience that. I really want to go back into this book, so I'm going to reread it in audio form when it's available from my library. I think I'm going to be rereading this every year, and I don't reread books, so that is a huge compliment to this book. The Split Tooth, 5 stars. This is the Scorpio recommendation. And last but not least, the 100-year-old man who climbed out of the window and disappeared, which you just heard me talk about. This is a 4-star read. So we had 1 3-star, 1 4-star, and 1 5-star. Exceptional. That is everything I read this week. I had a great time. And please let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books before, what your thoughts were. Also, would love to do this again. There are lots of videos out there that recommend books based on zodiac signs, so if you'd like to see more, please comment below. If you have any suggestions for other reading challenges I should do, I love doing this. This is probably my favorite video I've ever made because I love reading things that I wouldn't otherwise read, but also having an excuse to read things that I really love, that I already own. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a lot more of these challenges and kind of read 3 books every week and then talk about them. So if you liked this video, please give it a like and comment why so I can make more content like it. If you are interested in sticking around and hearing more of my bookish thoughts, please subscribe, and I am so excited to see you next week. I'm going to be back to a regular posting schedule now, so I will see you next Sunday.